Hello there guys, welcome to another of my videos. Gonna be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So according to Bill's Christian Fark, it's very likely that Hakan Calhanoglu will join Manchester United next summer. He is into the final year of his contract with AC Milan. Now, I think I give you an update on Hakan Calhanoglu last month. It says obviously Manchester United were prepared to offer him a 5-year contract. Now, it also mentions that Atletico Madrid and Juventus have been interested in him. Now, he's been at AC Milan for a good 3 years or so. He has made over 100 appearances in the Serie A. He is predominantly a winger. He is the age of 26. AC Milan paid around 20 million, was it, for him? They got him from Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, before he was at Bayer Leverkusen, he was at Hamburg. And before Hamburg, he was at Karlsruhe, if I pronounced that correctly. That's where he began his senior career. So yeah, would you take him at Manchester United? So that is the breaking news on him. Now, I want to give you some news on Samuel Chukwueze. I might have pronounced his surname wrong because his name's actually hard to pronounce. But anyway, it's stemming from La Razón, which is a Spanish publication, saying that Man United are interested in Samuel Chukwueze. And he says we are willing to make an offer for the player. Now, it also mentions that Liverpool are interested in him. Chelsea have been interested in him. I think Leicester have been interested in him, and so too have Real Madrid. Now, Samuel Chukwueze is a winner. He currently plays for Villarreal.
Liverpool fans can go back.
Can they?
Football fans back in Liverpool and London, but 10 Premier League clubs must wait.
Alright.
Let's see what it says. The Premier League will be split down the middle when the national lockdown ends next week, with half the division's 20 clubs able to welcome back fans, including those in Liverpool and London, and the other half not. After the government announced new touring measures for England on Thursday, 10 top
That I already know.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah.
There's no fans allowed at Aston Villa, Burnley, Leeds, Leicester, Man City, Man United, Newcastle, Sheffield United, West Brom or Wolves.
Yeah.
The rest of them can have fans.
But yeah, as I was saying, just talking now, I apologise. But yeah, he's got around a £71 million release clause in his contract with Villarreal. And he has got a contract with Villarreal until 2023. So would you take him at Manchester United? There's been quite a few right winners on our agenda. Now, obviously, Jadon Sancho, he's another right winner on our agenda. It says we are going to go back in for Jadon Sancho in January. Jadon Sancho was our number one priority target during the summer transfer window, but the main explanation why we didn't get him is because Borussia Dortmund wanted £108 million and we was not willing to meet their £108 million valuation. He said a few times during the summer transfer window, though, that the personal terms had been agreed and the agent fees had been agreed. Just couldn't come to an agreement on a fee. Michael Zorg and Sebastian Kell and Lucien Favre did say that Sancho would remain at Dortmund, which he has done, because during the summer we had until the 10th of August to sign Sancho. Now, like he updated you earlier on today, Sancho's admitted that it's been hard this season. Sancho recently scored in Borussia Dortmund's 3-0 win against Club Brugge. There's a good chance Sancho could still leave Dortmund next year. This is Jadon Sancho's 4th season with Borussia Dortmund. Analysing the vast majority of his career with Dortmund have been he's been very, very consistent with Dortmund. He has got a contract with Dortmund until 2023. Dortmund only paid £8 million for Sancho from Man City back in 2017. The main explanation he left Manchester City is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities, and before he was at City he was at Watford. Now, don't forget, we was willing to offer Sancho the number 7. And Fabrizio Romano and Bill's Christian Falk were talking about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga a lot during the summer. Now, Ousmane Dembele, he's been another winger on our agenda. He's obviously one of the alternatives to Sancho. Samuel Chukwueze, he's another one of the alternatives. But yeah, we inquired about getting Ousmane Dembele on loan during the summer transfer window. It says a few weeks ago that Ousmane Dembele could be available for around £45 million in January. And it says we could get him on loan with then the obligation to buy. My element of concern about Ousmane Dembele is that he is too injury prone. He's sustained a few injuries at Barcelona. He's endured over 3 years now with Barcelona. He has got a contract with Barca until 2022. Barcelona got him in a deal worth £135 million from Dortmund back in 2017. It did recently say that Barcelona paid another £4.4 million to Borussia Dortmund. Liverpool were also interested in him during the summer. Now, obviously, there's been quite a few centre-halves on our agenda because I think Manchester United need a centre-half. We need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Now, Dayot Upamecano, he's been one centre-half on our agenda. And it did recently say that it's likely he will be leaving RB Leipzig next summer. At the end of the season, he's going to be available for around £36 million because that's when his release clause does become active. Dayot Upamecano, don't forget, signed a new contract with RB Leipzig until 2023, and obviously that includes a £36 million release clause. Liverpool have obviously been interested in him. The main explanation why Liverpool are in for him is because obviously they've got Virgil van Dijk out of a serious injury. They've also got Joe Gomez out. He's got a bad injury. Andrew Robertson's just come back from injury for Liverpool. Bayern Munich have been in for Dayot Upamecano, but it's turned out that they can't afford him. He's been at RB Leipzig now for a good 3 years or so. RB Leipzig paid £9 million for him from Red Bull Salzburg. Now, David Carmo, he's been another centre-half on our agenda. He currently plays for Braga. He said a few weeks ago that Dan Axel Zagadou was also on Man United's agenda, and he's also another centre-half. But in general, there's a lot of players on our agenda. You know, it's recently said that we've revived our interest in Jack Grealish. We was in for Jack Grealish during the summer, but Villa said that they wanted £80 million. and that put us off. And we had element of concerns about where he would fit in the team. Was it during the summer Jack Grealish signed a 5-year contract with Aston Villa? Grealish obviously now plays on that left-hand side. Erling Haaland, I think we could also go back in for him next year. It was a shame that we missed out on Erling Haaland back in January, because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. Solskjaer was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut at Molde at just the age of 16. Back in December, Solskjaer and Ed Woodward met up with Haaland in Norway. Dortmund obviously got Haaland. He's been at Dortmund now for almost a year. Dortmund only paid £17 million for Erling Haaland. And Haaland has got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2024. He's got a £68 million release clause, but that doesn't become active until the summer of 2022.
Seen what Barnley have put on Barnley pub?
Yeah.
Fucking mad that.
So yeah, but it is good that we are making plans for next year. We're not only going to focus on the incomings next year, we're also going to focus on the outgoings. There is still deadwood at the football club that we do need to get rid of. So I think, we'll be looking to get rid of Lingard next year. We'll also be looking to get rid of Phil Jones. We'll be also looking to get rid of Marcus Rojo. I think Sergio Romero will leave the club, because Sergio Romero is our third choice goalkeeper. I think Matic could leave the club next year because he's lost his place in the team. Possibly Juan Mata could go. A lot of Manchester United fans are expecting Paul Pogba to leave the football club. Daniel James, could he go next year? Because he's been out of form and hasn't really played much this season. But despite his lack of playing time, Daniel James says he still loves it at Man United. There's been obviously rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan in January, and Southampton have been interested. Brandon Williams is now our third choice left back, following the arrival of Alex Telles. And Dean Henderson, there's obviously been rumours of him going out on loan in January. Actually said Dean Henderson wants to go out on loan in January, but Solskjaer was saying prior to the game against Istanbul Başakşehir that Dean Henderson wants to stay at the football club and he wants to play for Man United. Dean Henderson is our second choice goalkeeper. I think at some point though he will become our number one. Dean Henderson hasn't featured in the Premier League this season, but he's played in the Carabao Cup games. He made his Champions League debut against Istanbul Başakşehir in Turkey. He made his England debut earlier on in this month. During the summer, Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United worth 120 grand a week. Dean Henderson has gained experience because he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. He also had loan spells with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury before. We got Dean Henderson at the age of 14, so he has been part of the club for several years. And I think Odin Ighalo will leave the club in January when his loan expires. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need more backing at the football club. He hasn't been backed enough as Manchester United manager. None of our managers have been backed enough since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And this is the main explanation why we've been so critical of the board. The board are one of the biggest problems at the football club. But obviously Ed Woodward came out the other week and said that Man United remain absolutely committed to Solskjaer despite our poor start to the season. We have been in good form recently. We've won our last 3 games in a row in all competitions. So reflect on that, quite a lot of pressure would have eased off Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the long term for Manchester United. I hate to say that because I love him a lot. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years and he flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance, but my perception on him as a manager to how he was as a player is totally contrast, because as a manager he hasn't got that proven pedigree. Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career. Obviously before he was with us he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but Molde are a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. He did enjoy a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. The main explanation why he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. But Ollie has been at Man United now for almost 2 years, and I think it's next month his 2-year anniversary. So reflecting how long he's been with us, he's learned quite a bit and he's gained managerial experience. Ollie's got a contract with the football club until 2022. Now, I'm very, very sceptical that he will see out his contract unless a miracle happens. I don't see him being Manchester United manager at the end of this season. The main explanation why he's still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. Like I've said so many times, disregarding him being a club legend, I don't think he'd have been at the club now. Obviously, there has been a lot of talks of Mauricio Pochettino becoming Man United's next manager. He's been the favourite to take over at the club. There's obviously been talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. There's also been talks of Julian Nagelsmann coming in. But it wouldn't solve a lot if we sacked Solskjaer, because not all of the blame stems from him. There's issues that the football club has got to solve. He's obviously got to solve the Paul Pogba issue. He's got to identify his best 11, because I don't think Solskjaer knows his best 11 at the club. The 11 we went with against Istanbul Başakşehir was one of our best 11. Was one of our best 11, yeah. If we'd have put Paul Pogba there instead of Fred, it would have been our best 11, definitely. Solskjaer needs to select the right formation. He has gone a lot with that 4-2-3-1 formation since he got appointed in as Man United manager. In the big games, he's gone with a 3-5-2 formation. A few times he's gone with that 4-3-3 formation. This is his second full season as Manchester United manager, and he's managed over 100 games for the club in all competitions. I said if we could finish in the top 4 this season and if we could win a trophy, that would represent a very, very good season for Man United, and then that would obviously give us something to build on. I was actually expecting us to mount a title challenge up this season. Ole did well in his first full season at the club, which was last season, because he got us qualification for the Champions League, also got us third, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals, didn't he? He has made some good signings since he became Man United manager. He spent over £200 million at the football club and enjoyed 4 transfer windows. In the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he recommended Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he recommended Alex Telles in, Edison Cavani. What? Alright. Alex Telles in, Edison Cavani, Donny van de Beek, Facundo Pellistri and Ahmad Traore. We got 4 of the players on deadline day in the summer transfer window. We've also seen a lot of players leave the club since he got recommended in. We've seen the likes of Lukaku leave, and Ander Herrera leave, Sanchez leave, Darmian leave, Smalling leave, Young leave, Valencia leave, Fellaini leave, Angel Gomez leave. We've also loaned a few players out. We loaned Tahith Chon out. We loaned Dylan Levitt out. We loaned James Garner out. I think we also loaned Joe Pereira out again for another season. And we've had some good periods under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. We're enjoying a pretty good period at the moment. We went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season. We was 14 unbeaten in the Premier League. And we did well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. So there you go. And Solskjaer, give him his credit, he showed a lot of tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games. Our record against the top 6 sides last season was very, very good, wasn't it? Because Ollie beaten Guardiola 3 times last season. He beaten Frank Lampard 3 times last season. He beaten Jose Mourinho once as Man United manager. He's beaten PSG twice as Man United manager. And he's beaten Julian Nagelsmann, hasn't he? So they are definitely positives to take. But in the last 8 years, Man United have been playing catch-up. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So last time we won it was in Sir Alex Ferguson's last season. And that season we won it by 11 points. You know, we've only won 4 trophies since Ferguson left. And that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal, and the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield under Jose Mourinho. And we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left, and that was... I'm having it soon. Sacked 3 managers since Ferguson here, and that was Moyes. Sacked him after like 8.5, 9 months. He's enjoyed the shortest tenure at the club. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. It's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Obviously, we sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. So, Ollie's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We've spent over £1 billion on players since Ferguson left. We've recruited a good 36 players in since Ferguson left, haven't we? You know, we haven't dominated English football since Ferguson left. And I said, didn't I, no manager at Manchester United will replicate Ferguson's legacy or last as long as Ferguson did. You know what I mean? But yeah, there is players at Manchester United that have impressed me this season. I've got to be honest with you. Marcus Rashford, he's really impressed me. Marcus Rashford recently scored a penalty against Istanbul Başakşehir. He scored a few goals in the league this season. He scored a hat-trick against RB Leipzig, became the 2nd Manchester United player to score a hat-trick as a substitute. He scored late on against Paris. That was the 2nd time he'd done that. Marcus Rashford's had a couple of games where he's looked off the pace. Against West Brom he was poor, but obviously he wasn't fully fit, was Marcus Rashford against West Brom. Because he's been out of a shoulder problem not so long ago. Rashford turned 23 a few weeks ago, didn't he? Rashford surprisingly started on that right against Başakşehir. Will we play him on the right now more often? Because he doesn't really play a lot on the right. A lot of the time he's been playing on that left. But I think in general anyway he's more effective out wide than he is centrally. Bruno Fernandes, I've also been very impressed with him. Without a shadow of a doubt, Bruno Fernandes is Manchester United's best player. Bruno Fernandes has been at the football club now for almost a year. He has 21 goals in 35 games and he's provided around 15 assists. Bruno Fernandes did score 2 goals recently against Başakşehir. He scored the retaken penalty against West Brom and he scored twice against Everton and also got an assist. A lot of his goals have come from the penalty spot. Bruno Fernandes won some Matt Busby Player of the Year award, didn't he? Don't forget. He won Premier League Player of the Month a couple of times. I think he won it for February and June. We paid €55 million for him from Sporting Lisbon. €55 million equates to around £47 million. Solskjaer said he needs to give Bruno Fernandes a rest, but it's going to be difficult to see how we would cope without him, you know. But taking Bruno Fernandes out of that team, I think we'd be in a worse position than we are already in. Now, I've also been very, very impressed with Donny van de Beek when he's played, but he's hardly played, has he? He's been getting his chances in Europe. Donny van de Beek did start against Istanbul Başakşehir. He was playing in a deeper role, and I think he's very effective there because I think that's his predominant position. He can play in like 3 different roles, can Donny van de Beek. Against RB Leipzig, we started him in that number 10 role. You can also put him out wide. But yeah, we need to start him in the Premier League. He's not yet made his full Premier League debut for the club. So I'm hopeful we can start him on Sunday against Southampton. You know, we paid £40 million for him from Ajax. Now, Fred, he's recently impressed me. He's enjoyed a lot of good games this season so far. There's been a couple of games where he has looked a bit off the pace. But Fred, you know, showed good attacking intent. He's been everywhere on the pitch. He's passed the ball well. And I like the way he has broke up the play. You know, Fred's been at the club now for a few years. We paid like £47 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. Now, Edinson Cavani, he's also really, really impressed me. Edinson Cavani made his first start for the club recently against Istanbul Başakşehir. You know, I like the way he links up the play. He held up the ball well, made some dangerous runs.
I meant that. Right, in microwave, there's 2 chicken burgers.
Right, yeah.
And 2 bread cakes.
Yeah.
Chips and a few mushy pigs.
Alright. And, yeah. Edinson Cavani was also good when he came on against West Brom. He scored his first goal for the club in the 3-1 win against Everton, which was good to see. And he almost scored with his first touch when he came on against Chelsea. We got Edinson Cavani on a free transfer on deadline day and he signed a 2-year contract with the club worth around 230 grand a week. And he currently wears that number 7 shirt, Edinson Cavani. Juan Mata, you know, he's impressed me in quite a few games this season. There's been a few games though where he hasn't been so consistent. Juan Mata did well in both our Carabao Cup games against Luton and Brighton. He did well against Chelsea. He did well against Newcastle. My element of concern about Juan Mata, he has now lost that yard of pace. Because he's like 33, 34. He's enjoyed a good career at Man United. He's enjoyed a good 6 years or so at the football club. Juan Mata has scored 50 goals for Man United in all competitions and he's made over 200 appearances in all competitions. We got him for around £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Now, Harry Maguire, he's also another player that's really, really impressed me. He's been very effective in the air. His distribution's been good. He's made some very, very good blocks. Good to see him bounce back from his early season troubles. This is Harry Maguire's 2nd season at Manchester United. He's our current captain. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because we got him in a deal worth £80 million. Victor Lindelof, he's impressed me in some games this season, but I've still got my element of concerns about him. And Wan-Bissaka, he's enjoyed some good games this season. In the games he's played well and he's shown good attacking intent and his defensive contribution has been good. This is his 2nd season at the football club. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. And David De Gea, I've also been very, very impressed with him. He's made some good saves this season, but there's been some games where he hasn't really had much to do. You know, I said he's going to remain our number 1 this season. But yeah, Alex Tellez's also impressed me in the 3 games he's played in. You know, he did well on his Champions League debut against PSG. He did well on his Premier League debut against West Brom, and he was good against Istanbul Başakşehir. I said Tellez is going to be a very, very good signing for Man United, didn't I? So there you go. There's a few players this season that have been disappointing. You know, Paul Pogba, he's very, very inconsistent, but Paul Pogba hasn't been playing much. You know, he's only started like 2 of our last 9 games, something like that. He's missed our last 2 games with an ankle problem like Solskjaer's confirmed. Matic, I haven't been too impressed with him, but like I said, he's lost his place in the team. Martial, prior to the Başakşehir game, has been disappointing. But against Başakşehir recently, Martial really stepped it up. Martial was playing on that left-hand side. And I think Solskjaer's happy that he's back out on that left-hand side. Solskjaer did explain prior to the Başakşehir game why Anthony Martial's been struggling, because Martial, don't forget, did have a 3-match suspension in the Premier League because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham, but in reality he shouldn't have been sent off. But a lot last season he was playing centrally, Anthony Martial. Daniel James, you know, he's also been out of form. But yeah, for the game on Sunday, Solskjaer said he's hopeful that Anwan Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly and Paul Pogba will be fit. You know, I gave him my preview for the Southampton game earlier on. So anyway guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.